Hello, everybody. Hello, the internet. Hello, internet. Welcome to the Angry Owl Sessions. My name is Grumpy Taffer, if you like. I don't really have a name. I think you can call me that, I guess. And welcome to the Angry Owl Sessions game, where we complain saying of the things that we think about 3 a.m., but we are too sleepy to post about or to even look up about or to even talk about with our people, and we forget about it in the course of the night. So yeah, here we are, and just late a while ago, I was sweeping my floor, sweep, 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 and I was listening to the person we're living with right now listens to someone who blogs often, someone who married a Japanese man, and they blog about their travels all over the world, and I find it really funny something that she said, and and I still find it really fun. It's something that I already know, and I think almost everybody already knows, but we don't really have that confirmation. We sometimes even look for someone that says the things as they are, and that is kind of rare, to be honest, when it comes to these situations. Because the thing that I'm going to talk about is all these people who are always living like the good life, let's call it that way, even though they're probably dying inside, many of them. But yeah, they're always living the crazy life, the good life, and they're always saying this one thing, and this is the thing that annoys me. Uh, because they're always saying that they got to the place they are on their own, that because of their own strength, that because of they pull their own weight, they're in the place they are. And in my experience in my experience and intelligence, that's almost always never true. And this is something that annoys me a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are annoyed by this as well. Even Gus Johnson said it himself on the video from a preacher that, according to him, said that it was him, and it's really easy for people. What I'm gonna say, it's really easy for some people that once they're already up, once they're already in a good place in their life, it's really easy for all these people to just say that it was them, that it was their own weight, and this is the same case with this girl that I was listening earlier. She said that when she was 15 years old, their parents cut her off all sorts of money, etc., etc. That she pulled her own weight, and that somehow got her to all over the world. Now, I know if you're American, I know you're, or maybe from a first world country, you probably think that is possible. However, that girl comes from a country, and I know with my economy that that's probably not true. And after seeing what some other Americans medium medium socioeconomic status say, I have realized that it's pretty much the same truth in almost all over the world. Sometimes it's not them. It's not really their own weight. It's not really their own talent. It's not really their own intelligence even. So most of the times, and this is something that I see specifically when people travel over the world since young, and what I see is that they're not pulling their own weight. They never pulled their own weight, especially this girl. I don't think she did it because I myself had tried to travel to Japan. It's not cheap, and especially now here, it's not cheap at all. It's not easy. When it is cheap, it's not easy. You can't just waltz in and say, "Hey, I want to travel to Japan." You gotta pay. If you want to do that, you gotta pay. Otherwise, you take basically like some sort of raffle. You take some sort of a contest with millions of other kids who obviously want to travel to Japan for the same reasons, but they pick only five. So it's not that easy. It's not. It really is not. And this is the issue here. Many people, a ton of people, millions of people are saying that they all carry their weight. They basically after birth they spank themselves and they say, no need, doctor, I can do it myself. In fact, I can already walk. I already have an investments, since birth. That's how ridiculous. That's basically how ridiculous these people are getting. And this is the issue here. Not an issue. Rather something I want to complain about, because I also lately I found out about a certain, let's call it bully. I used to have when I was in basic school. I think the equal is basic school. Yeah, I was in basic school and I had this bully. He was kind of a demon. And lately I've seen, I really don't know. I don't know him anymore. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But lately I found out that he's been all over the world, unlike me. Like I told you, but back then in that basic school, it was a basic school for people from a more higher socioeconomic standard. I was unlucky because my father. I was unlucky enough to not be able to remain there, and or lucky enough. I don't know. I was getting bullied. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I did not remain in that same socioeconomical status for a while. I and then lately I find out about this bully who has been all over the world, and people take him as this very charismatic person, an altruist to anyone's point of view, and I just don't. I would like I said, I want to give the benefit of the doubt that I want to have. I obviously, for my own peace's sake, I don't care if he is a good person, or a bad person. I really hope he's a good person, and if he is, I good for him. But I really don't think that people can give such a 360 to such a 180-degree spin in their life just like that. And according to him, in his own profile Facebook, he's been all over the world since very young, because of his own sweat, because of the sweat of his brow, and and I do not believe him. Like I said, it was a school for rich people. It was a school for rich kids. And my issue here is with all these snotty kids, these ingrate brats who are always saying that they carry their own weight, that they didn't have it. And in my experience, one very important thing that you need is a rich and very pampering father, because in a way that's what I missed. I didn't have a father, and I was not rich, and that's the one factor that I keep noticing. They all had a rich pampering father, but even so they keep saying that. Even in, like I said, like I said in the previous video on another channel, I worked in a certain automobile company, which I'm going to say, fuck it, I'm gonna call it Chrysler, and I'm gonna talk about that story another day. But yeah, there was another punk who got the position there when he was the least that deserved it. It was actually really funny. I'm going to talk about it later if I haven't talked about it, if you haven't seen my video. Yeah, it was the kid. That kid was always having that engineering attitude that I'm here for what I know and know that for what I do, and he never did anything. And basically, a lot of people always worked, and he also came from this high. What's the best way to call it? These high renowned universities, which everybody thinks that they train their students to go into the working environment and be ready to already be prepared. You don't have to train them anymore. They're already trained. They always say that, and I believe that. They give you that image, and if something I have known, and if it's something that I have known in my experience in the working field, is that is not true. All the kids I have worked with that come from these rich universities know to do nothing. It's so annoying. Story for another day. They're just useless. Let's leave it at that. And this is the issue here. Both the girl, about the bully, about the punk that I work with, they all carry their own weight. They all have. It's funny. They all were born in the high socioeconomic status. To you won't be, so that it makes sense how they map that, how they have him having all those trips all over the world. And then when you talk with them and when they give their comments, they all made it from the bottom. They basically ate dirt when they were 5 years old, and that's the issue here. And like I said, even Gus Johnson said it in a previous video about that preacher, I think, that was saying about that you just need to be good. I think I remember it was a preacher that said something he could not understand, and this is the issue here. And that is what so many people are always I don't know, weeping themselves, just I don't know, I guess torturing themselves mentally because they think that they did not give the measure, and they think that they didn't have what it takes to make it in the world. And I just want to say that it's not true. Many of the people that have made it in the world, they made it by themselves. They had luck, they had money, sometimes they had connections. Even when I entered that company, I had connections, but after I had entered, I didn't use them, and that was the issue here. That kid used his connections when the position was determined. That kid used those connections, and I didn't. That is the only difference there. I could have used those connections, and I know that if I had used those connections, if I had used the person that I knew that I already had a high position, somewhat high position in a company, I would have stayed with the position. But I didn't want to use that. I want to survive there because with my bro. Again, story for another day. But yeah, it was just it's just like that. If you're killing yourself over the fact that so many people look like they're making the world, just relax, just have a little peace of mind, and realize that it's not all about who you can be. It's sometimes about luck. Because to be honest, I just mentioned a minute ago about how that punk had that engineer attitude of I'm here, of that I'm here for my own attitude, and I used to have that. I also used to have that point of view in my mind that I will make it in the world. Because I was a working kid. I was always a very working kid. I didn't care pretty much about working, um, and and I in the end, I have found out that that's not all that it takes. You can be good, you can be smart, you can be skillful. It's not all that it takes. Sometimes it takes luck. Sometimes, most of the time, it takes connections, and connections are made basically by money. That I'm rich attitude, and yeah, if you and I know it's many people will say, well, if you need that attitude, why don't you just have it? Why don't you just adapt to be like us? Basically, they say it's not easy for us. Right now, I'm being as social as I can be, even though I'm talking with a camera. It's not easy for a lot of people, thousands of people. They're really skillful. They don't have what it takes to make show of it. That doesn't render them useless in any other way. And to be honest, in that company, for example, if they had chose not me, okay, if they had chose anybody else, probably many workers wouldn't have been fired just this past year. I think it's a year by now. Yeah, basically a lot of workers lost their jobs, and I with another couple of youngsters were working to basically make some adjustments to repair the things that caused the whole upbringing, and none of us got the job, and none of us were there to continue our jobs, and because of that, many workers lost their jobs. And yeah, ultimately, maybe a little bit of nepotism isn't bad ultimately, but in the end, it is bad. It could be bad. It is really harmful for a lot of people. So yeah, if you're killing yourself for all these people that made it in the world because of their own because of their own sweat in their brow, just make yourself that maybe it wasn't all that. Sometimes it's nepotism, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's connections. Don't kill yourself over it. You're better than that. So, anyways, that's it for this video. My name is the Angry Owl Sessions, and well, have a good one, everybody. Bye bye.